Hello, and welcome to another week of 𝔸𝕬 𝕦𝕤. This week we are continuing our game of Castles in the Air. But before we get into it, I'm going to have everybody first introduce themselves, starting with Inda.
I'm Inda. I am a writer and a podcaster. I am have a podcast called Black Girl Squee, and I have some music playlist over on Mixcloud. You look over at 𝔸𝕬𥪬. I she her pronouns, and I am playing Rosemary O'Neill, also she her. And yeah, you can find my information at my card induscorner.card.co.
Alrighty. And Diana?
Hello, everybody. I go by Diana Moon online. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me still at Twitter, but also Blue Sky at Diana Moon, and YouTube and Twitch at X Diana Moon X. Um, and this week at Big Bad Con with everybody else here. Um, that's all I have.
And JP.
Hi, JP Fairfield. You can find all the stuff that I'm doing on my card, jpfairfield.card.co. And also you can find me on the podcast, Nagasso Noir Network, that I do with Dee and for other awesome Black women. We also have a card, nagassnoir.carrd.co, and that's Nergasm, NARDGASMNOIRE. And I play Esther Sparkle, Sapphire Sparkle James, and we both use she, her pronouns.
And Chris.
Hi, my name is Chris. I write about RPGs over at Deeper in the Game. If you look over on WordPress, he, him pronouns. And yeah, I'm just excited for Big Bad Con. That's my big thing. So I play Mark Sui, who is somehow found his way into a triad despite being both suave and awkward. Swawkward.
No. And of course, my name is Deanna Jones. I am a writer and a podcaster. You can find everywhere I'm at on my card, nanicoolj.carrd.co. And I play Minnie Mae Smith, who also found herself in a triad, which is weird because she before was very bad at relationships. So now apparently she has two people. So I guess win-win for her. Yeah, that's everything. Take it away, Diana.
All right. Yes. That's what I forgot to say. Sorry, I got messaged and I got distracted. I am the facilitator of the game, and I'm also playing Manny Diaz. He, him, somehow stumbled his way into a triad. Probably wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Minnie Mae and Esther.
Minnie Mae didn't do anything but get locked in a closet. She was minding her own. Oh, actually, no. She did tell you to tell Mark how you felt, but she didn't expect anything to come of it on her end.
Exactly. Yeah, sorry. 1 second. I apologize. If I don't send this, I will forget later.
Brain farts. Understandable. Anyway.
It's mainly the Hyatt. There's now 2 San Francisco Airport Hyatts, so I have to make sure that people know which one we're going to, because the airport literally has a Hyatt attached to it now.
Oh.
The hotel we're at is in Burlingame, which is also called the San Francisco Airport Hyatt, Burlingame. So my partner's mother was like, please give me the name. And I'm like, no, I need to give you the link to the right one.
This is all of the information. Yeah. Otherwise, you're not going to make it.
Because last year, my friend from Ireland went to the wrong one.
Aww.
Because he didn't know. And walked from the airport, because he didn't think to call me, to the Burlingame one. Yes. So she's texting me. So yeah, just in case anybody knows, Burlingame Hyatt is the San Francisco airport that Big Bad Con is at. That's the one you go to, not to the one that is connected. Though the one that is connected, you probably take a shuttle from there. But luckily, I am willing, for friends I know, picking people up, like JP. But yes, so there was a kidnapping. There was a child napping. We did all of upkeep. We did some monologuing. We did some interstitial scenes that are happening in the days following the official kidnapping. We are starting a new cycle, starting a new novel chapter. In theory, depending on how things go, we may finish tonight. I feel like with us, we'll probably need the buffer of one more session, which could be a shorter session, and then we could discuss everything. So that's where I'm going with. But this is the final cycle, the final countdown. We are going to, this novel chapter is going to be a series of visitations. This is about 3-4 days after the event. Wait, let me look at my notes real quick. I think I wanted this to be yes. So technically the kidnapping hasn't been resolved, but it's on its way to be resolved, since we don't need to make it a whole huge thing, but we'll probably, so D, be ready to be Stukovich and be the Russian asshole we know you can be.
I don't know what that says about me, but okay.
I don't know. You do a good Russian accent. That's all I know. So yeah, so think about, we did have the landing the plane conversation last week, and we all seem to be on the same page. So for this novel chapter, I feel like, yeah, obviously Maddie getting his son back and coming up with some agreement with that. Let me read the wishes we had from last week so everybody can have in mind of what kind of scenes you want to have with other people. I was thinking, I know JP wanted to have like maybe a wedding or commitment ceremony. I'm thinking that might be good for if the final novel chapter, to have that be like surrounding that, because I think that'd be a nice sweet thing to end everything on. But Chris wants to know how the child custody gets resolved. Minnie may convo with her sister. JP wants Rosemary in their element, maybe with Jean-Luc, see if it's going somewhere. He wants a resolve with Mikhail. Excited to see the aftermath of the play. Conversation with friends about the personal play. Inda wanted to see a commitment thing with the trio, maybe. Conversation between Esther and Minnie May, or with Roy. Teehee. And then I just echoed everything they said. And for Inda to write the play notes, which she did, thankfully, because she's awesome that way. So we will, when JP gets back, we'll start with Inda reading the what she wrote. Technically, yeah, it was optional, extra epistolary, so if nobody has any ideas, that's fine. Inda was the only one that had homework anyways. And then we'll get into the novel chapter. The thing I'll bring up with the visitations, technically, I don't think we need it as an event per se, or at least we don't need to structure it as an event. That this could be a mix of, yeah, Maddie getting his kid back and the fallout with that, and maybe us having scenes of watching Inda's play. Well, not actually Inda's play, but yeah. And having the reactions in the aftermath. It is Inda's play.
I like that.
That works
really
nice.
Do.
Okay. Let me just take a sip of water.
Hydrate before you dihydrate.
Seriously. Also, shout out to 2 of our players wearing similar shirts, because I think it's funny. Oh, she disappears as you raise up.
That's a shout out to our friend Justin, who does the 8-bit Animal site, where he reviews original Nintendo games.
Yeah, which is very awesome. Full of nostalgia feel. I'm so weirded out because I have to wear the headphones again. I'm like, but I'm not using this mic. I'm using the Yeti. JP, in case you didn't hear when you were going to grab your food, it's the novel chapter is a series of visitations where with one finishing the kidnapping, but then us having scenes of reacting to the play, where we're gonna see ourselves in the play. Oh no, why is the storyline so good? And the reactions from that.
Okay.
Yeah, also I see Fel's acting a fool in chat. So please, Inda, give us Rosemary's notes. If you're in the Discord, you get to see these notes ahead of time.
Okay, Rosemary's notes on Emil's big scene. It's morning. Emil wakes up and immediately smiles, remembering how just the night before he managed to woo the object of his affections, Marie, despite how distracted she'd always seemed with her family around. However, they had had the sweetest kiss and declared their intentions to make a go of things. Emil sings his song of joy as he prepares for his day, getting dressed, making his coffee, and planning a bouquet he plans to send to Marie. But his song is interrupted by a sudden noise outside. It can't be a bird or any such creature, but it does sound pitiful and helpless. He goes to the door and gasps at what he sees at his doorstep. He brings in the basket, revealing it to be a baby in a bassinet. He busies himself with the fussy child and eventually finds the note explaining who the baby is. The child he had sired with a former flame he'd met some time ago. And now here he is with the remnant of that time. Roll out the flashback stage, an establishment in which no respectable gentleman would dare frequent. Yet, at some point, this is exactly where Emil spent most of his leisure. The gambling, the spirits, the ladies of the night, the wrong company. This is the song Emil sings with his friend Michelle, as they both take delight in their life of vice, leading Emil to the woman who would bring him to his current predicament. Here, we must see that they get along so well and so publicly that surely there must be some impending nuptials along the way. I mean, why else would a woman sit so freely in a man's lap where everyone can see? But alas, no nuptials. Once Emil is done with her, he moves on to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, not even noticing who has devastated her so. Of course, it doesn't take long for all the vice to catch up with the two, and they must flee lest they find themselves in an even bigger mess. But that brush with consequence leaves Emil with a bitter taste in his mouth, literally and figuratively. He knows he cannot keep up with this life, so he returns home, separating from Michelle in order to find his true calling. He finds himself at La Cité des Étoiles, helping with the shows and befriending the performers. It's here he finally meets Marie and knows he was meant to be with her. And Emil returns back to his present reality as he looks at the child with eyes like his. How will he ever explain this to his mother? What will happen when word gets out around town? And will Marie even still want him when she realizes he's been something of a cat himself, now with the child to care for?
Nice. Also, damn. I would. I wonder how long it'll take in that scene for everybody to realize, oh, this is just Maddie.
It's
I
not going
feel
to take
like
Mama
once
Diaz
you
that
get,
long.
I feel like Mama Diaz knows it as soon as the baby is involved. But I feel like everybody else, when they see Michelle, the person from the past who also does, they're like, that's Isaac. Ugh.
Right. And then I'm like, I feel like for Esther, as she's watching this and she gets that it's about Maddie, she's like, I better not be Marie. I better not be Marie.
Love it. Yeah. Excellent. So yeah, let's get this kidnapping off done.
You can't keep
The
saying
kid-
things like that.
The kidnapping has served us. Look, it's us. He's still alive. That's a benefit from our first ever campaign
That's true.
on this show.
The child
Yeah.
harm has reduced. We've learned control. It's growth.
I murdered a bunch of kids.
I gave them sleepy time drink. And then suffered the consequence of having a kid who didn't die
Hey,
from
Quinn's not here. I'm blaming Quinn.
Exactly. So yeah. I think it was a case of Maddie having calmed down with the help of everybody else, managing to find, like, with also the help of everybody else, where exactly
The bitch.
sorry. I have another Russian name in my head because I'm reading a really great fantasy gay book, and it's Vasily, and I'm like, that name is stuck in my head, and I'm like, no. We're not in that one.
That's Vasily's a good Russian name.
Yeah. With Stukovich. And so probably a meeting at me double check. Is the Golden Gate Park? Yeah, Golden Gate Park is around with the buffaloes. So probably meeting at one of the hidden. There's like a couple of actual waterfalls in Golden Gate Park. They're not like big, obviously. They're like tiny little stream kind of waterfalls, but probably one of there. Because I don't think Stowe Lake has been created yet, or is in the process of becoming created, and all that. So it's in the open. There are plenty of people roaming about and everything. But maybe that would be a great place for them to meet, and all that. I think Maddie would ask Mark to come. He doesn't ask Minnie May only for the fact that like he's just worried things might get out of hand and doesn't want Minnie May to get in trouble. But
Also, she's me, so that would be confusing.
yes. I mean, you can play two characters at once, right?
Yeah, but one of them is gonna be real quiet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah. I think for once, or rarely enough, that, and maybe it's because of Mark, that Maddie and them get there like ahead of time, like ahead of the proposed time and everything. And Maddie's just pacing back and forth, like, what if he doesn't bring him? What if it's just him? What if he doesn't show up? What if this was all a ruse?
What did you tell him? What did you tell him you would give him?
I told him we would talk, and that that his daughter would have wanted me to raise him, but we can negotiate.
Okay. What do you have to negotiate with?
I have money. I didn't say that in the letter. That I knew that would be too crass. But I have
He
money.
he doesn't want money. He would have asked you for money already.
Well, then that would have been a proper ransom, and he might have gotten in trouble. I don't want him to take child.
I know.
I don't know. What do you think I should offer him?
I don't know. He wants to be with his grandson, but he doesn't want to stay here. That makes it really hard.
It's not like we can do. And he does think of Isaac and Isaac's whole like baby scheme and everything. It's like my kid needs to be raised here. It's not like I can't do split custody, half the year in Russia and half the year here.
It'd be half the year on a boat.
Exactly.
You'd just be raising a sailor.
Huh. I don't want my kid to be.
They don't eat very well.
Yes. He just concedes to that.
Mark's a weird ass. So literal.
Hopefully
I mean,
he has a plan. Maybe he has an idea.
well, he knows that money's not the issue. Maybe he just has to know that you're gonna actually spend a lot of time raising the kid, not at parties.
I'm going to be working parties. I'm not going to have the life I had before. I don't want that. Again, thinking of Isaac and just realizing, yeah, that was bad.
I know, but maybe he needs to learn that.
Yeah. You'll help me convince him, right? That I'm better now?
I mean, I'll try, but I I'm your we're together. He's
Doesn't
naturally going to
show that
assume I'm going to take your
technically.
side.
I know.
So,
And you can come in at any time, D. In the middle of it.
I think after you guys kind of like wrap up the conversation, it's a little bit before Stikovich shows up, and he does show up with Mikhail. Uh, and I think he just kind of walks up and he like says hi to Mark, and then looks at Maddie, and he just goes, "So you want to make deal?"
Maddie takes a couple of deep breaths, thinks it backwards in Spanish, like 10 to 1, like because he immediately just wanted to punch him. He's like, no, no, but he's holding the baby. I can't do that. Yes, willing to deal with you. I'm willing to not press charges for taking my
That
son
doesn't
without
sound
permission.
that doesn't sound like deal. That sounds like threat.
I'm not threatening, I'm just saying I'm willing to do a lot here. Have my son back. What can I do for you that I can be the primary one to raise him?
I don't know. I don't think I can trust you.
He looks at Mark like,
have you met his mother?
Yes, I've
Very
met his
nice
mother.
lady, unless you cross a line. He's on thin ice. He can't cross any more lines with her.
Well, that I understand.
I'm sure you've seen what an angry matriarch is like. I'm sure you can trust in that. The boy will be safe. The boy will be actually cared for, and he's going to change his ways. I put my hand on the shoulder with that slight, like, you are right, like grip.
yeah, yes. I mean, that's why I came home. That's why I came here. And kind of like glances at Mark. Change. Dude, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm in a place where there are other people to help me. Yes, my mother, my family will help. Mark will help. My friends will help.
I trust your mother. I don't trust you. So I think I'll leave him here now based off trust of your mother. But he will come around to my country.
When everything is settled and he's settled here, come visit.
If I hear any misbehavior, any sort of funny business, I'm coming to get my grandson back. And I make the deal not with just you, but with you and your mother, because your mother is an upstanding woman.
Yes. I'll tell her all this as soon as we get home with him. And then Mark knows she will hold us to it. Iron fist.
I think he kind of looks at Mikhail. He gives him a hug and he kind of whispers something at him that you can't really hear, and then he like puts him down and like scoots him over towards you so he could just walk over to you.
Yeah. And immediately Maddie will pick him up and like squeeze him and like kiss his face and mutter in Spanish to him and everything. Thank you.
And I think he turns to Mark. And he looks at Mark and he goes, "You seem like better friend for him than that Isaac person."
That guy seemed he had lots of ideas and plans and
His head
yeah,
too empty for ideas. He didn't have nothing in there. He just talked too much.
yeah.
Isaac will no longer be a part of this life.
I'm gonna lean over like conspiratorially. You heard that man got shot? He angered a writer. The pen is mightier than the sword, but they also know how to shoot too.
That's true. I know many writer with gun.
I wanted to make the joke like Chekhov.
And I think Stukovich goes, I want to hear about him. I don't want the next time I speak to him be years from now and I don't know anything about him.
Of course. And I appreciate anything you have of Katsuska, stories of Katsuska. If I could tell him when he gets older.
I think he kind of softens at that. And he smiles a little bit, not too much because he doesn't really like you,
Yeah.
but like it's just like a little smirk. And he just goes, "I'll send what I can."
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think he just kind of like says his goodbyes to Mikhail, gives a very curt goodbye to you and a kind of like formal goodbye to Mark, and then goes.
And I think he waits until like it seems like he's far away, and he like still holding Mikhail will like turn to you, Mark, and just like drop his forehead on your shoulder, like almost sobbing, but not actually, just like you know.
That's it's a lot. But you're gonna take care of him, so this is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. I don't know what I would do if I lost him.
I'm sorry that you had to carry so much. You carried it to yourself for so long.
I thought I needed to punish myself.
The ghosts walk with us regardless. I think we've got enough punishment as it is.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark. Always been there.
Hey, little man, how hungry are you?
And of course, like they probably say something like "pan" because he's learned pan. He's learned French. And yeah, Maddie will smile and it's like, "All right, let's get this baby stuffed with my ideas too." And yeah, that can be the scene. Hey, good job, D.
Yeah.
Shut
Shut up.
Stop that.
Why did I look?
Because we all get tempted.
What?
You
JP
know
had
what
to-
you did.
JP had to
We
fill in
all
for
was
Chris.
thinking it. I feel like I just said it or wrote it. So, but we all thought it.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So yeah, I think like a day goes by. And if we want to do the whole like we're at Rosemary's event play and everything, we'll do I presume Rosemary you would have given us like VIP like spots and everything to have like front row and all that jazz.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Are you going to give a speech before your play, or are you just going to have it like just done without
Well,
preamble?
no, of course she's gonna give like some sort of speech. Like,
Okay. Did you want a scene before that, like with Jean-Luc or anything? Okay. It's like that. You don't need to be
Nah.
here.
She's like, I already got rid of him.
um. Okay. Since you did the notes, I won't make you make up a speech on the spot if you don't want. So what we'll do is, since we have, based on all of the other notes that Inda has written regarding us, I want everybody to do a reaction on a proposed scene that has happened that you, when you first realize that's me, kind of thing. And don't forget that there's also, like, flashy dances, everything's all in the French style and all that. And that some of your connections are in this play as people.
I forgot that Marie was supposed to be Manny.
Like, do I need to just like throw out what the scene is they're seeing?
Ooh, you should. I like that.
Okay. All right. So let's
As a matter of fact, let me pull up all of the scenes that you wrote.
okay, let's do Mark is seeing Michelle has gone through, let's just say, a crash course charm school and learned how to be better, learned how to be more suave, learned how to, be more charming. But, he had been, no, wait, that should be Michelle. Mark seeing Michelle, he's the one gone through charm school and, just kind of become wanted by everybody in town and kind of, finds himself being friends with Emil and those two, getting along a lot better than he thought they would.
The problem is Mark is clueless.
I was just about to ask,
so
does Mark
right.
actually get it?
So the way
We
Mark
have
is going to take
tokens.
this, Mark is going to go, wow, that's who I wish I was. Look how well the school worked for him. I worked so hard and I still don't understand what's going on. What a great person to aspire to be. Like,
Maddie and Minnie may just look at each other like,
if Mark is sitting next to Jesse and Esther, they're just gonna look at him like, no one tell him. No one tell him.
I think the one part which will be hilarious because Mark will be, oh no, he's got the lapel pin wrong. That's not how the book says you're supposed to do it. But I get it. You can only do so much research when you have to do a play like this.
How Minnie Mae looks at Maddie and goes, how does he not, like, this play is entirely too close to all of us, but how does he not see that that's him?
It just let it be. Just let it be. It'll be better if you don't try to understand it.
All right. Okay. I wonder if now my thing is, because Minnie Mae wants Mark to understand things so bad. I think she tries to explain to Mark.
Oh no.
Okay, so look, I'm starting to believe that maybe, possibly Rosemary took some things that she might have took some things from people that she knows and put them in this play. Now, some people might be a little bit mixed up. It's not word for word, everybody. But do you see how he's a little bit similar to what you have gone through?
He just did so much better at school than I did.
I
did see where she tried to take a little bit of the dance steps that I did at the party. I mean, it's good. It makes sense. It's popular. But you only have so much space on the stage, so you have to modify it. That makes sense.
you had a lady chasing you, Mark. She came across the world for you.
And then it turns out there was a whole nother one we didn't even know about.
I mean, she came across because she wants to find good people for her country.
Didn't you just tell us like last week?
I'm just saying, y'all just hurting your own heads trying to do this.
I know, but I'm stubborn. I know he's capable of understanding these things. I don't.
Maybe if we describe it in theater terms.
You just
It's a
see
play.
Esther. You just see Esther kind of looks at Jesse, and they both just sit back and start sipping their drink. They like,
Jesse's like, Ma and Pa and I realized that he would never understand these things. It's just easier this way.
You know what? Maybe this is better because maybe if he did understand that it was you, you might get a little upset.
I think what will happen is there'll be some random character who is involved. There'll probably be a random character in the background of one of the scenes that's supposed to be Emil's fun times parties. it'll be a indication of activities. And I'll, how did she know?
Okay,
I'm going to
Please
need another
not.
drink.
not at the very least, not in front of your sibling. That's all I ask. We're not discussing that at this moment.
I'm so glad I did not invite Mama Diaz this time. Lord.
You know she's gonna see it eventually.
But we don't have to be here when she sees it.
Good point.
Maybe not everyone followed the rule that you're supposed to keep things discreet at the school. Huh.
No,
Okay,
I can tell you there were entire countries that weren't discreet.
But I'm gonna need you to follow that discreet rule at this very moment.
you know what?
At this very moment,
You know what?
That discreet
I don't
rule.
think you should be discreet. I think you should go full head and explain to everybody.
I don't think your sibling would want to hear any of this.
Hey, let's ask Jesse.
Do you want to have your bats back, my love?
Look, they're the one that wanted to try to convince him and get him to understand.
You're encouraging him, though.
That's because they not listening. So I figure.
Yes, I appreciate it. Don't do it around me. I already know too much about Mark.
Okay, that is true. Okay, I'll stop. But they just.
I doubt either of those two know where his birthmark is.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. I
just wanted to come and watch a play, and now I'm being embarrassed from 3 different directions. One of them being the play. Oh my God.
Maddie, meanwhile, is looking at Mark like, where would there be a birthmark?
Okay, now we have gotten to Emil's scene, the one I read at the beginning. This is where Maddie starts to see something looking very familiar.
They kind of are just kind of staring ahead, like watching this. And they kind of just turn towards wherever Rosemary is sitting, like obviously a little bit more prominent area because, you're the screenwriter and all that. And just kind of stare like, what the fuck, Rosemary? Like,
oh, Rosemary is not paying attention.
I know.
He wrote in on stage just yes. It is a masterpiece.
And it's just like, did you actually speak to Lord Isaac? Like, that's his thought process is like, oh my God, like the level of detail and similarities. And then he's just kind of like scrunching up in the seat, like, oh no.
Esther is trying not to crack up. She is just at her seat trying not to crack up laughing.
Jesse does lean over to you, Esther, and is like, should I be concerned that he's dating my brother?
Mm, okay, we had a whole discussion about that. So, it's all worked out, and he did a lot of changing of himself to try to get your brother, so it should be good. And plus, he know I'm good with a bat, so
That is true. Okay. And just she just kind of like turn like I assume like they're like behind, and so like she'll just kind of turn and like look at Mark and it's like very much a look of like, do you know what you're getting into kind of.
The problem is he does.
Yeah.
We just don't realize it.
And Maddie's just, oh god, I Mama Diaz cannot see this. I how much money do I have to spend to like bar her, put her picture, and she's not allowed to see this play.
Now you know good and well if you try and make it so that she can't see it, that's gonna make her want to see it more. You got to make her think this is boring.
or it is a little bit too risque because when she went to our show,
It's
she
true.
yeah, just be like that, Mama. There is some things that you are going to, well, there'll be less clothing in this one as in the other one, so you probably won't
And
appreciate
it's more
going.
French.
Yes.
Much more. Yeah, that'll work.
Yes, that will work because she already made it kind of clear. She was very nice about it that she would never go to one of my shows again if it's like that.
But she appreciated your costume work. It was there.
Yes,
Right?
yes, she did.
And, yeah, he just kind of like embarrassedly looks at Minnie May and Mark like,
Minnie May has leaned over trying to explain to Mark now, okay, so now Michelle is not you. This time I think he's supposed to be Sir Isaac. You know that, Maddie's friend, the real creepy one that was like so rude to everybody, that always talks about so many things that nobody, oh my God.
So this is a play about shapeshifters? Boy, I didn't read up on that.
No, it's more like metaphors. Basically, the different characters take on aspects of different, I guess, people that she knows for
except
certain
I'm just
scenes.
a meal and I'm just. God, I was.
So
a
possession.
slut.
Well, if it makes you feel, oh snap. Well, if it makes you feel better, for some reason, Maria is both me and Esther. I don't understand why those two things would get mixed up, but
Okay, that explains why Marie is not as sexy as me because, I wear less clothing.
And
So
as soon as you say that, Marie's big number comes up. And it's going to look suspiciously a lot like some things you were doing early in your career on the stage.
I think Esther looked at that. She's like, oh, I remember that number. Oh, well, you know what? She did expand this part a little bit. I did, yeah, the little jangling. Yeah, I did a little bit more shimmying, and sometimes I sit on a special someone's lap, whoever in the front row. It always got to be a big spender and blah blah blah. But okay, all right,
So
I
are
see
you
what I see.
saying that's it? And this is Jesse speaking very teasingly. So you're saying this should be Esther 2.0, a younger, newer model?
Now hold on.
Minnie May laughs out loud.
There can never be a better model than me. First of all, when I did that number, trust me, the amount of big spenders that we had coming to that show tripled. So, I don't think anybody can really outdo that.
And she'll whisper in your ear so only you hear. Oh, you can always prove that to me tonight.
Esther is just quiet. Just like, you hear like her intake of breath, and then she just shuts up.
Okay, and so we get to the point there in the story. Marie has this big, what's the word? Big pensive number that she sings And it's where she's writing a letter to herself and confessing her love for her brother-in-law that nobody knows about. And she's writing this while, she's singing, this big sad girl, weak bitch anthem.
Damn.
I think Esther was like, I don't remember anything about that. That must be a made up part.
I will pay. Wait, I'm pretty sure I have a
Wait a minute. Wait, at the end of that number, the cad, Jacques, who, she despises and hates, he's going to find that letter. He's going to take that letter.
I will pay a resolve token from Maddie to you, D, for him to realize it based on the conversation.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Okay.
I think part of the thing that gives it away is like during that whole scene, Esther was trying to like whisper things to Mark to try and like explain stuff to him. At this point, she's just shut up and she's just like staring.
And Maddie's in the thing of like climbing out of the seat, practically like full body just staring at you, like Minnie May, like as the cat got the cream, like.
Why are you looking at me like that?
You and boy?
I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing ever happened between me and Roy.
Wanted. And he's
Mark is
climbing,
ultra confused.
He's like practically climbing over Mark, because I assume Mark is in between us,
Yes, yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, he's like climbing over
Mark is probably like, hold up, we're inappropriate in this place, but not quite this inappropriate later.
I feel like Esther's training to try to figure out what's happening, but Jesse is like, no, this is none of your business.
Yeah.
It's a play, Maddie. It's just a play.
It's Rosemary. She's been watching us for the last 20 years.
It's nothing. Don't worry.
We'll talk about it after.
What? Talk about? There's nothing to talk about.
Rosemary
I had a
is
crush on-
just dabbing her eyes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So beautiful.
Yeah. I had a crush on Mark for 10 years before I said anything. I know how it feels. And Mark didn't even have anybody. Right? Well, he technically had a bunch of people, but they don't count.
Now that's rude to those people.
Y'all just hear a random snort.
We can talk about it later.
Okay. And then he does like take your hand and squeeze it.
Oh.
And then gives a look to Mark like, you dirty. Because he like sits back.
You nasty.
Yeah.
Mark is extremely confused. He's like, she's watched us for 20. Oh, is she like a spiritualist? So like when we were away, she could watch us? That makes sense. I didn't understand. Oh, okay.
Mark, are you regressing?
I think he needs to go back to
worse.
school.
I feel like it's getting worse. Are you
It's hard to think when people are in my lap.
Okay, fair. Offers you the bag of popcorn. Like, here you go. But yeah, he does give one last look to Minnie May. Like, even though he was kind of being really teasing and like, oh my god, but he also understands too. It was like, ah, shit, you know.
I think that's everybody.
What about Rosemary? Where's Rosemary in this play?
Rosemary's not in this play.
How dare?
Of course not.
How dare.
Maybe there's a bit in her of the character that's like inspired by Jessie, because she's like running the place. Maybe there's a little bit there. So yeah, kind of the madam of the establishment.
Yeah,
I feel like Esther whispered to Jesse, you know what? Maybe since it's fair play that we make a burlesque show about Rosemary. Think of this. The charming writer who no one would ever guess holds all the secrets of everybody. But she's more like a, temptress. How
And
about that?
while you are saying that, Rosemarie, she's focused on the stage, but she's going along with the choreography of the show that she's watching it. So she's just totally focused into it.
Love it.
I love it. Oh my
Yeah.
God, Rosemary is love Rosemary.
And Jesse totally agrees. Like, yes, like that would be great. It would also be playfully a way to get back at Rosemary and everything. And more competition, wahaha. But yeah, so I think obviously since this was opening night and everything, there's a opening night reception afterwards. That this time, no, because then she would be there. And Maddie did pre-cater and and starting to hire people that he can trust, so that way he can enjoy the show and not be part of it. So yeah, the food is all there. Again, it's French themed, and but it's more like French San Francisco themed than anything. So I don't remember when the Green Goddess shows up in San Francisco history, but it's a dungeness crab dungeness cocktail that becomes like is one of the signatures of San Francisco. So there's the Green Goddess and a couple of other themes of that, food wise and decoration wise. And yeah, so I think we can spend some time where we're mingling with everybody. Who's the first to go congratulate Rosemarie?
I think Esther will go over there. Well, now Rosemary, let me come and congratulate you. It was a wonderful play.
Oh, thank you. And Rosemary's just kind of gonna grab Esther's kiss around both cheeks. Like, thank you so much. That means so much coming from you.
I appreciate you taking inspiration from me and Jesse's life, but can I have a small note?
Oh, of course, sure. I'm open to feedback.
Yeah. Whoever you get to play me, can you make them a little bit more sexy? I feel like they didn't capture the true essence, especially when I perform.
No, I tried to tell her. I tried to tell her. I mean, it has to be bolder. Like you're French, and you're Esther. You have to take inspiration from that. If you had seen Esther's shows, like when she was first starting out, it was the most mind-blowing thing. And you have to get that energy. I keep trying to tell her this.
I didn't know you appreciate my performances that much.
Oh, of course I did.
Oh my God, you know what? Thank you, Rosemary. I'm so appreciative.
Oh, listen, you and Jesse, just so much that I loved about the theater. And I'm like, it wouldn't have been right to not at least try to capture that, even though it wouldn't be exactly the same.
I mean, it's hard. Sometimes you have it, sometimes you get close to it. But they did their best. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't me. So.
But you always have to have something to aspire to. I mean, it's always going to get better, and like it's just we can get better.
That's true. I've been trying to train Olivia. I'm like, oh, okay, you have to have your own thing. You can't copy anybody else. You have to have your own essence, and you have to try to find that.
Yeah, Olivia, she'll be great when she gets her focus, and once she knows how to own it.
Exactly, own it. And I, of course, being her mentor, she better own it.
Yes.
Well, I'm just not gonna keep you up. I'm just gonna let you have more people congratulate you as they well should.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming, Esther. I'm so glad you could make it.
Oh, no problem, darling. I enjoyed the play immensely. I might even come see it again.
And maybe it'll be maybe the one inspired by you will be better. I'll see to it.
Oh, yeah, you're so wonderful, Rosemary. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing that one too.
Yes.
I think I think Maddie does come with like a plate of food for Rosemary. Um and of course it's like the best parts of like the reception food and everything. It's like congratulations.
Oh, thank you. She's just going to take the plate of food from.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Manny. She's going to start to stuff her face. I'm so glad you can do the catering. This is so good. It's
Yeah.
very good.
The play was very good too.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. I've read, I did have read some of your things before, and I always knew you always took from life a bit. I hear that the great authors do that. Um, but do you have to take so much?
Well, I mean, it's all here. I mean, stories of redemption, which we had to get with Emil. It was already here. I mean, Emil is such a great character, such a great guy. I mean, even though he has some things in the past that might be a bit questionable, but you know, look what happens when he becomes a much better person and he finds his happiness in the end. I mean, that's why wouldn't you want that for everyone?
Yeah, he does, and he like rubs the back of his neck. It's just, I was never that cruel.
Well, you have to embellish a bit to make it, interesting for the audience. Give them something to look at.
My mom was gonna want to see this.
I does Mama Diaz
She
come
wants
to
to support
theaters?
you. Well, not these kind of theaters, but
Okay, then. So, what are we worried about?
he just kind of like points towards the stage, like Mark and you are the same. I don't. How? How did this happen in our group? Uh, um, if she asks, deny it.
Oh, I don't like to lie to the Mama Diaz,
You owe
especially
me.
if there's a chance.
I could sue you for defamation.
How is it defamation? You're the hero. I mean, well, not she's saying it's the hero. Emil's the hero.
Yeah. Because I don't know. I do know people in Europe that can do it.
I know a lot of people in Europe too, and they don't care.
I meant this kind of stares at you. He's like, how? How did we not know this about
Why doesn't? Why would anybody? And she's kind of gonna be a touch oblivious, like, but why would anybody look oddly on you because of Emil?
you?
He's a character in the play.
We all recognized ourselves, used us.
Used you.
Yes, our life stories, our secrets. And he kind of glances at wherever Minnie May is at the moment.
And she's gonna put her hands on Maddie's shoulder. Maddie. Wait, is Mikhail anywhere near?
No, Mikhail's is with Mama Diaz. He got smart this time.
Oh, she's kind of gonna gesture like wherever she thinks Mikhail and Mama Diaz is. Maddie, it's not a secret. Everybody knows.
It's my secrets. I love you, Rosemary. I'm glad you're no longer the bookworm that you were. You're out there and you're creating stuff. But just be careful when you're using it for entertainment.
She's gonna take Maddie by the hand. Maddie, I hope someday you truly realize just how remarkable you are.
He's kind of taken aback by that one, to be honest. And just kind of just like okay. and just like slowly turns around and just like walks like in the direction of like Mark, and it's
And
like,
she is continuing to stuff her face because
Yeah.
the food is good.
who else approaches?
I know exactly what Mark's gonna say. Mark is gonna come. Wow, I really loved how you did the lighting. I didn't realize like the music meant that there was like the, I guess, possession shape-shifting going on. That sounds really cool. But the one thing is that when there was the big party and you had the restraints, when someone's restrained like that, they shake like this. It's only for that many seconds. You want the actors to hold and tense, and then they can that's what it looks like.
She had something in her mouth that she was eating, and when Mark gets to like possession and shit, she is staring at him because she has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. And she's just looking at him like, what?
Yeah, I so Minnie Mae was telling me like every person is multiple people. That's like so deep. There's like 8 stories happening within one story.
Oh,
But like no, like really, you got to get their restraints right, or it won't look right. I mean, I know they're acting and not doing it for, but like people who know will know. It won't. And then people who are thinking about it should know what it looks like too, because they might get wrong impressions.
she's just gonna kind of this little plate shit she's gonna lose and just gonna draw Mark in for a hug.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you, Mark.
because if they do it wrong, they'll hurt their legs.
I will keep that in mind. I thank you.
Maybe they do it different in France, but I mean, you'll still hurt your leg.
She's gonna take something off the she's gonna try to stick it in Mark's mouth.
He's helpful.
Thank you. Here, enjoy. Maddie made these. Here, enjoy it.
Thank you.
I think Minnie Mae, of course, is going to be the last person to approach Rosemary, and she does it like she doesn't really want to. It's like a situation where they're near each other, and then like she kind of like Minnie Mae just kind of like feels like she should say something, and so she just looks at Rosemary for a second, and then she starts speaking in French so that less people will understand, and she just goes, "I didn't like it."
Oh, Minnie May, why? I mean, your costuming was great. It fit everything.
Because I didn't need everybody to know. How did you know?
How did I know what?
How did you know about how I felt about Roy?
And Rosemary is actually going to be taken aback a bit. You feel what way about Roy?
I don't feel that way anymore. But why would you put that in your play?
Well, that was a stand-in for Henri. That night that, because wait, what was it? Was it Mark who rescued her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that night at the party, Mark had to keep you away from Henri. Oh wait, no, it wasn't a stand-in for Henri. It was a stand-in for Mark. I just made him the brother-in-law to embellish. You feel what way about Roy?
Maybe you should talk to your friends before you start using their life stories in your plays. At least give them that courtesy.
Anyway, if I didn't realize that, why would anybody else? I had Mark in mind for that. But because, I mean, we all kind of were like siblings at some point, but I see that that's kind of evolved and moved away and moved on. So, yay. But Roy? Book thief Roy?
I hope your play does well. And she kind of just turns and walks away.
Oh, wow. Okay. And she's actually turning around looking to see if she sees Roy anywhere.
Oops.
Would Roy be at this?
Probably not this showing because of the kids. Like they would
Yeah,
wait
that makes
until
sense.
Minnie May is there to babysit the kids before they went.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's like, yeah, gotta rotate. Um, yeah, I think not Mark, sorry. I think Fatty did see you talking with Rosemary Minnie May and saw like the seriousness and immediately went to get like um a drink, but it's like it's a one of the ones that's like a French Spanish fusion kind of drink. So kind of like a sangria, but it's something Frenchy about it. I don't know. I don't know nothing about French alcohols.
There's something French about it.
Yeah, maybe there's cheese in it or something, you know.
What?
And he just comes up to you and the comedy that he had in his face, like when he had realized, is like gone. And he's like looks very serious and is like, here, I think you need this.
She takes it and downs it and then goes, I probably shouldn't have done that, but it is what it is.
Want a hug?
Right now, I want to crawl out of my skin, but a hug will be nice.
Okay, I'll make sure your skin stays where it is. He says as he like gives you like a just a regular hug. And I know my thing isn't as bad as yours. Mine is kind of obvious.
Well, apparently she says mine isn't. Apparently she said that she had Mark in mind for the whole thing.
Really? Kyle. But it still, with every other element that y'all recognize in that play.
Well, my hope is she's right and nobody gets any ideas.
I know we had our conversations, that's why I kind of freaked out.
Yeah, I know.
You know I won't tell no one.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, God. I didn't want to have to think about it. I thought I wasn't going to have to think about that ever again. I thought I was good. I thought things would be fine. And now I just feel like I'm being embarrassed in front of everybody.
I'm sure most people are going to be talking about Emil's orgy scene. So
Well,
probably will be safe.
if it makes you feel better, they're only talking about it because Mark keeps talking about it. Do you know he's explaining things to people?
Yes. What? I feel like the school is a front for something else.
I had thought maybe he had learned it from you, but you seem just as befuddled as I am.
I didn't want to defile him. The most
Apparently,
I ever did was because he was when I took him to Hawaii, he was uncomfortable. You know, we drank. He barely even touched his drinks.
he doesn't really like drinking.
No.
He doesn't like not being in control of himself, and as we see as to why. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping me get my mind off things.
Yeah, no. Of course.
But also maybe it's good that you didn't know back then. Because I don't imagine you, him, and Sir Isaac together. That would have been awful.
No. Yeah, no. And he just kind of shakes his head. I mean, there's a possibility Sir Isaac wouldn't have been in my life, but I'm okay. How things, for the most part, and got to meet. Got to have Mikhail, and if I could change one thing, it would be that she would be.
No, I understand. Like, You can't change the past. Whatever happens has happened, but you got to just kind of take the good things that happen out of it.
I have a son. I have
And I have a bunch of beautiful nieces and nephews who get on my last nerve.
exactly. We have each other, and we have Mark, who's going to apparently surprise us for the rest of our lives.
As a matter of fact, where is he? We should probably stop him before he continues to try and explain
Oh,
these
God.
things to more people.
Yes.
I probably have started an educational little demonstration of knot tying
no.
from the stage. Like,
I
if you
think
do it like this, you'll injure your back. So you have to do it like this. Make sure that the cushion stays between the rope and your leg, or you'll get rope burn. I know some people like it, but you won't like it in 2 days.
You can see Esther cackling, and Jesse is just picked her up and just
Yep.
while she's cackling.
Yep. Jesse's like, we're going home now. No.
the problem with it is this is very, oddly enough for me, interesting information, but I don't want him telling everybody this.
We can do a demonstration at home. We don't need to do it out in public. Nope. Wait. Nope.
What?
That's another conversation.
I think at that conversation, like her eyes get big and she just turns to Mark and goes, "Mark, get down here."
Okay, I just don't want anyone to get hurt.
I'm sure they'll be fine, but please get off that stage.
You see, as he's leaving, he's talking to a couple people. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you more later. Okay, like
I'm on it. Let's go home.
He now has 5 new suitors, right?
Oh God, you're right.
You're gonna have to explain to him why, though, because I've spent this whole time trying to explain things to him. He's not listening to me. He'll probably listen to you if you explain this to him, because he's just gonna think I'm crazy.
Yes, and you're still new to all of this, so the ropes and all that.
I don't need an explanation. I just need to get out of here.
And as soon as Mark comes close, like Maddie will grab his arm, like his wrist, like, we're going now. Like, and
yeah.
And that scene. Poor Minnie May.
She's such a sweet girl, and everyone around her is so intense, and she's just kind of like, what is happening?
Esther is having a great time because now everyone is experiencing what she has to deal with. So she's like, he is your problem now.
Aha!
Love it. So yeah. Is there anything we want regarding this novel chapter? Oops, didn't mean to scratch the mic. With like the next day or so revolving the play or anything? Any scenes with any of the other like connections?
I mean, I don't know, but honestly, that actually, if that was a TV series, that scene feels like a good ending of ridiculousness.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys? Yeah, it's a good question. Did you want that to be the final chapter? And then we move into epilogue?
It feels like a good like ending point.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure everybody had scenes that they wanted to have. So that we all feel great about it. I know we didn't hit a couple of beats, but this is when. Okay, let me pull up then. What's next, which is the epilogue / epistolary information.
Epistolary.
Let me just open up the drive. While I'm doing this, does anyone want to throw monologue tokens at each other during what had happened in this previous novel chapter? Because we all have refreshed that.
Man, I might have to flip a coin because I want to give one to Minnie May and Rosemary. I can only choose one.
I was already planning to give one to Rosemary.
Okay, so Minnie May. A monologue token. Um, more about your thoughts about your current relationship and
Ooh.
like and also about your feelings if Roy ever sees the play.
Ooh. So, relationship wise, Minnie May is happy. She is in over her head, a little overwhelmed because she is with two people who are wild, and she is a cozy bitch. um, but like she finds it to be fun and interesting, and like she's even though Mark keeps saying these weird things, she is like learning all of these new things that she never really paid attention to before. And there's like this part of her that's like very excited about it because like there's this whole world that like she was also one of the people who wanted to go to France because she wanted to go to France for like clothing and fashion and stuff, but she was like the one person out of all of us who didn't really travel outside of the continental United States, you know. So like she's learning about all these things, these adventures that these two went all over the world or whatever, and she feels like she's kind of living vicariously through them, and also she feels like um even though she's still a little bit just like shy, she still feels like she's coming out of her shell a little bit in a way that's very comforting for her. And in all honesty, she kind of does enjoy the chaos. She likes the fact that she has Maddie there to look at when Mark is saying weird things, and she can just go, "Do you not see what's going on?" And she also has Mark there when like Maddie is being either too much about food, or even though he's trying not to be a party boy anymore, still kind of get a little bit party boy like anxious and being like, all right, well, we got to make sure that he doesn't get too drunk or whatever. So like it's nice. And then also it's nice to have like these people who care about her and who are actually taking care of her and who tell her, hey, shut up, sit down. You're doing that thing again. You need to chill. And so she's loving that. I do think her sister and Roy end up seeing the play at some point. I don't think Roy gets what's going on, but I do think 𝔸𝕓𝕦 does. And so there is at some point, like Roy is off with the kids, and it's just like Minnie's at home. She's like working on a project or something, and 𝔸𝕓 like comes to her and is like, hey, I just want to understand what the heck is going on here, blah, blah, blah. And they do have this conversation about about what happened. And, 𝔸𝕓 didn't know that she had feelings for Roy. Roy never knew. And so like, it's very much like a sisterly moment of like, I like 𝔸𝕓 being like, I wouldn't have tried to hurt you if I had known that this was going to hurt you. And Minnie being like, I'm not going to like stop your happiness just because of my feelings. They have a really, really cute sister moment and kind of like, like hug it out and bond. And Minnie May is like, also, I don't have to deal with like 4 or 5 kids right now. I just got to deal with them temporarily. And if I get annoyed, yeah, this is also my house, but I can leave. I have auntie privileges and it's great. And yeah, and I think everything is a lot better for Minnie. I feel like at some point, Henri gets irritating again. But Minnie May ends up talking to Violette about it and being like, hey, your son is a sex pest and he's getting on my nerves. And like Violette is finally like, oh, I didn't realize that this was going on. Like, from what I understood, because she basically, it was like with Maddie, she was like, oh, they're courting each other or whatever. She didn't know that Minnie May wasn't interested. And so finally she goes to her son and is like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you going to mess up my business? And kind of like sends him off so he won't be a bother anymore. Yeah. And then everything's coming up Minnie May.
Awesome. What is the monologue that you want to give?
I I feel at some point in Rosemary's career, there has to be a change in how you do your plays involving other people. Like, what's the catalyst? Like, does John Luke come to you? Do you accidentally put something out you don't mean to? Like, what happens where you go, oh, I actually kind of maybe need to think about the fallout here.
Oh, yeah, because that's actually what I was thinking about with my blog with Rosemary. Her conversation with Minnie Mae does, get to her because I don't think it really occurred to her that like, oh yeah, people are gonna see themselves in this, or if they do see themselves in this, they'll know it's exaggerated or whatnot. And so she does get with Jean Luc, and what she does, she and him, they work on the Marie's arc, and they're gonna rework the song of where she's expressing love, and it's gonna be about Emil now that she does have these feelings for Emil, and she's had them since she met him, but she didn't want to tell him that, and she kind of her reservations about that relationship, but she did at first envy her sister's marriage and her family because that wasn't the life that she had, but she's gonna find herself in this relationship that not what she expected it would be, but it works out for her. And so, but what they're gonna do is they're gonna keep both versions of this. And so when you go to the theater to see it, you don't know which version you're gonna get. And so that's gonna be a way that Rosemary is gonna keep people interested and also a way to help sell out the shows. So she's kind of gonna figure out if she does like the Clue thing, you don't know which ending you're gonna get or something like that. It might be a draw for the show. And also she's hoping that it'll confuse people enough that, oh yeah, she was making this up, and then they're gonna think this was actually happening with, her with the people in her life. She's just kind of, making shit up, and maybe, it'll be fun. That's kind of gonna start being like her thing, is that she knows how to do like multiple versions of a show. And so like, okay, if I go this day, I'll see this one. If I go like this day, I'll see this one, or like this, and keep people coming back.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So, for ending the game, obviously, if we had done like the full cycle, we would have skipped rumor and scandal phase. We would have skipped the second bosom enemy phase and everything. And then the final epistolary would have been the story's epilogue. So this can take whatever form you like, but consider a letter, a vignette, or a legacy that looks at the impact your character has had on the world around them and has lasted beyond their death. So a legacy is something you can do. It could just be a letter. It could be a letter that's 5 days after we finish the opening of the thing. It could be 10 years, 20 years, 100 years. For example, my epilogue is going to be that is closer to the end of Maddie's life. He does a kind of cookbook autobiography, and I'm gonna liken this to it's inspired by a cookbook that I believe Gregory Park made, that was a love letter to his mother, because his mother was the one that inspired cooking for him. So when she passed away, this cookbook is what he made, inspired by her, because she was a white woman trying to live in a Korean family and give both to her family and everything. So this cookbook is basically all the recipes of all his loved ones throughout the years, his parents. Obviously, there's some to Katsuska. There's to his paramours with Minnie Mae and Mark and everything. To his multiple children that he has afterwards, with of course Mikhail being the oldest, and everything. And there's even a cocktail that is in reference to Lord Isaac, because even though Lord Isaac was a terrible part in his life, he was a central part of Maddie's life through everything.
It tastes like ass.
Only British people like it. It's like haggis or something, you know? It's just like something like
Ugh,
exactly.
a Marmite cocktail.
Yeah, exactly. And there is illustrations and like things. There's even like ones for like obviously for like for Esther and Jesse and Rosemary, and it's just through his life showing like like these different items and cookbook recipes with original notes and everything, um including recreations of like one of the notes he did keep for Katsuska of like when he first started like realizing he liked her. It was like a recipe he made, a Russian trifle and stuff. And obviously showing off how San Francisco has changed from when he was a kid to older. And I think one of the last photos is in this cookbook is the Diaz Bakery being it would be the it would be the equivalent of like the French Laundry, like something major in the restaurateur world. Like maybe this I don't know when the Michelin's whole thing started, but like this would have been one of the first ones to have gotten it. That he went back to his roots with the Diaz family bakery, this in honor of his mother, and then of course dedicated to his entire family. That's the legacy that Maddie leaves.
How many grandkids did he give Mama Diaz?
It depends how many mini May is willing to have
Right.
between Mark and Maddie.
Oh yeah, she would have had to do all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Mark is extremely neutral. However many babies you want or don't want,
I think
he knows many ways to have fun without baby creation.
Damn.
as we've established during the play.
How many many?
I think, I think Minnie May would have wanted things to be even, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think because Maddie already had Mikhail, Minnie May probably would have had 2 with Mark and then 1 with Maddie.
Okay. Yeah.
And then had to explain to the babies, hey, you got 2 dads and a mom.
Why did I know that she was gonna try to make it even? Why?
Because she doesn't, it feels weird to have like 2, like there be 2 from one person and then 1 from the other person. It's just like, now I feel like this person thinks I don't care as much.
I have a question. Did she alternate the babies? Did she like, okay, you already have yours, so it's Mark first, and then after that, it's Maddie, and then
I think she definitely did have 1 with Mark first, if only because Maddie already had 1, right? And so she was like, all right, cool. You're dealing with the kid, now you're gonna deal with the kid. And I don't know. I think
I mean, it would have been hard to have really regulated that back then.
well, there's a way. It's just one of you would have been real upset about it for a bit.
Exactly.
No, I can't stand you, Chris.
But oh no.
No, no.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I think it would have been like 4 kids total because they're not going to say Mikhail is not part of the family.
Yeah.
So, but it would have been like she would have had 1 with Maddie and then 2 with Mark.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Little racially ambiguous babies running around.
right.
Exactly.
Perfect for San Francisco.
Exactly. Yes. Don't worry, I'm sure Scarlett Johansson can play one of them.
We have CGI. She plays all of them now.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Is anybody else ready with their epilogue?
I think Mark has like 2 things that he leaves as his legacy. One is because theater and because of his love of mechanical stuff. He probably is one of the first people to create like that rotating stage thing.
Ooh.
With like, appropriate things to hang from, safely from the ceiling and stuff. And, he figures, oh, this is kind of cool. Like I could take some of the mechanical stuff I learned And he kind of makes that one of the things that regularly shows up in the shows, because once you set up a stage to do that, it's kind of set up to do that, right? So they take a big advantage of that. And I think he ends up writing sort of a guidebook to triad relationships. Like,
Of course.
but he actually starts figuring stuff out. He's not forever clueless. Like he's like, oh, so actually here's things you need to be mindful of, hey, it can be really hard. Sometimes someone needs some space. Sometimes it feels like two other people are closer and you're out, but maybe they just need a little time to develop. As long as you keep talking and keep the communication open, sometimes people just need you to be there. He like figures it out. It just takes him a while and a lot of patience from his partners.
We knew what we were getting into with Mark.
No, we didn't.
Well,
no, we didn't.
Part of it we knew. We knew he was space case for
A bit. He honeypot both of y'all.
Yeah.
Like
I do think Minnie May, aside from babies, I think she does, one of the things that she does is she opens up like her own little shop, right? Like she helps Violette open up the shop, and then at some point she gets ownership of the shop herself, right? And so what she ends up doing is she doesn't like franchise kind of like Violette did. She kind of keeps it as like almost like a specialty boutique kind of thing in San Francisco. And it's something that people come from she eventually, I assume, travels, but like people come from all over the world to like come to her shop and get fitted for things and stuff like that. And I think one of the things that she does in the shop to make it like nice, but also to kind of like support her partners, is she definitely has like little, when people come and like they're getting like fitted and stuff like that, she'll have like pastries that are from like the Diaz bakery or whatever. And like most of her, like, as long as like Mark's parents have like the printing press, she'll have like all of her flyers and stuff like done there to give out to people and things like that. And she keeps it, she ends up being more worldly, but still stays very local at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think what happens is like in a few years, when Maddie finally brings Mikhail to his grandfather, it's like, all right, you two are taking a whole year off, and we'll go like spend like a month in Russia, but then leave the kid there because that's the whole point. And then Maddie would take you both like across Europe and Asia and everything, like, and show the better parts that Maddie had experienced when he was gone,
Minnie May has a blast. In France, she does not like all the cheese and shit. She's so tired of, she's like, the one good thing is that I can speak the language. Everything else, disgusting. But I think she actually, and also I think she actually like sees Violette in France at some point and is like excited about that. Henri, nowhere to be found. Don't know where he went. He's a deadbeat.
Excellent. AP, do you have your epilogue?
yes. So of course, I feel like Esther and Jesse eventually do get hitched. They get married because they love each other. And of course, they both work together to build up their burlesque theater. And eventually, when they both decide to retire from performing, they still continue to train potential headliners. They do like trainings, classes, and stuff like that. They do more directing and creation of the actual show, sometimes with collaboration with Rosemary. And then they have a couple babies. And I feel like between their children, Minnie Mae, Mark's, and Maddie's.
All those kids' names starts with M, by the way.
Right. And
All
like
of them babies.
so our thing kind of got messed up because Jessie wanted all J's. I wanted to continue to E things. So half of our kids is E's, half of them are J because we was arguing about it so much and we was like, forget it. How many look?
We're
Every
having
other
an
one.
even number of kids.
Yeah, because I think we was on the third one. I was like, hold on, it's 2 J's and 1 E. No. um, and I feel like between all the kids between us, like some still like as they get older, work in our theater, some go into cooking, some go into like pretty much there is a kid or two that follows in the footsteps of one of us in the
That's how the
family.
printing press stays open.
Yeah.
Aww. Aww.
So
I
yeah.
don't know why I
So,
care about the parents so much.
right. So one of our kids and one of y'all kids, between our whole brew, it becomes like a family affair. So yeah.
Oh, plus my sister's kids. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
One of the kids
13
is
kids.
obviously going to do like a family history thing as a printed book.
Ah, that is confusing.
Yeah. And I think once they get to a point that like their oldest kids and maybe one of the other kids from one of the other, maybe one of 𝔸𝕓𝕦 kids, helping with the theater, that Jesse and Esther decide to travel since, they got people that they can trust to run it while they go traveling. So,
Oh,
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, Inda, what is your epilogue?
I feel like Rosemary actually does very well, with theater and all of that, just the way she wanted. But I also feel like she and John, since they get each other, they both kind of
yeah, they
embrace
do.
this.
yeah, they do.
They both kind of start
I thought
embracing
I was
like.
on mute. I'm sorry.
No, you were not. Minnie Mae's Revenge. So, they also like really embrace like the technological advances with like that starts coming with like film and stuff.
Oh,
And so yeah, they get involved with that entire business too. And so they end up having just this entire archive of like, early like 20th century stuff that was happening on stage in San Francisco. So, it's going to be this like very, very valuable archive. And I feel like also later, like maybe a few years after that, she's gonna draw the attention of like a writer of like somebody like Zora Neale Hurston, who's also gonna, like probably does like interviews her and stuff like that and kind of like keeps a record of her life. And also writes a fictionalized account of her time in Paris. So that
Messy.
with all the embellishments and things that Rosemary tended to like herself. Yeah.
I love.
So so yeah, she's gonna have, a life and just pretty much like when she decided, she went to Paris and came back, like it changed her and well, she's gonna just have that life.
Will Rosemary mentor one of the kids from whoever from one of our kids?
one of the 13 kids.
Whoever wants, any of them wants to, any of them. Whatever, we got you.
Exactly. Awesome. That's our epilogue. The last thing we do, which technically majority of the Good Society, we always forget this step. It's been a couple of years. Technically, with all the epilogues done, we close the book and we title our story. So what is the title of our campaign?
Mm.
Oh.
Okay. I have an idea, so let's workshop this, if y'all can massage this into something else, then yes. I was thinking of the era of self-reflection.
I like that.
I was thinking mess, but
The era,
I think-
also the era of mess.
messy
Yeah,
reflection.
That was, yeah, I was say the era of messy self-reflection.
Right.
Actually, the era of, because I was thinking of trying to, since one of the big things is Rosemary's play,
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking like a play title almost.
Oh.
But era is good though, as far as play titles go. Era of Mess might actually be very perfect for it.
Oh, wait, okay. So maybe the 5 walk through an era mess.
I like
Sorry.
it.
Repeat that.
The 5 walk through a
Ooh.
era of mess.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that. So
I like that.
There'll be a long ass title in the Google Sheets, but that is our game, and that is the campaign, and that was Castles in the Air, San Francisco edition.
I
It was
we're doing
fun.
play titles.
Yeah.
Play titles be long.
It is so fun. Obviously they are. I think the last update is they're finalizing through the book. They got through all of like D's and Mine's and a couple of other people's sensitivity and cultural edits to make it better. There should be more words probably. There should be more announcement on when the book is out for pre-order for like either at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. As obvious, anybody who backed the Kickstarter will get first hit at it. I'm very excited for it. There's a bunch of things you can do with this. If you're part of the Storybrewers Discord, or if you want to join the Storybrewers Discord, you sign up through their newsletter to get the Discord. People have started making hacks. I'm finding I've done 2 setting hacks. I have this one, which was the San Francisco setting hack. I also have a board, what I call board castles, but basically a boarding school setting hack of Castles in the Air, where instead of like living in a town, you all are either all femme presenting or mask presenting in an all boys or all girls boarding school, because in this era everybody was expected, if they went to these, they stayed there until they were 15, 16, 17 years old. You were allowed to be gay in the school to network, and then once you left you had to marry and then use those connections. And I think that's a fantastic way of using this system to like see the mess that has happened. And I've run a few boarding school settings of that, and there's other ones that are coming out that are fan hacks, of course, and everything. Train. I think that is it. We'll do stars. I always say stars and wishes, even though it's the final one, because my wish is always more sessions, a season 2. Everything, you know.
I definitely want to play this again. I had fun.
Yeah. In Neko's perfect world, a season 2 would be us playing as the kids. Like that's like one way you can play this game.
We
too.
got 13 kids to choose from. Let's go.
You know what that
Like every time you mention how
the number goes up
higher.
It's 13. It's because my sister had 5.
Okay.
The throuple has 4, and then you and Jesse got 4. That's 13. 13
Okay.
whole babies.
I was gonna say the generational thing makes me realize if people want to do just the drama part of Castlevania, you could just keep doing the Belmont family and their
Yeah.
endless drama.
Yeah, no,
Shit, we're doing castles in Romania next. Fuck it. I'm just kidding.
There's a lot of like gothic, like there's Gothic Society, there's a lot of different ones. I don't think anyone's done a very spooky version of Castles in the Air, but definitely is possible. Like
Yeah.
What if Castles and Airs but House on Haunted Hill? The Haunting of Hill House. That'd be a
Haunting
very
of Bly
messed up
Manor.
game, but yeah, it could work. So yeah, let's go around. What are stars from Chris?
I really have to say I actually feel like the whole idea of during the play we all have sort of reactions was a really good framing for this. Um I especially just I I love the sort of actually it was about this, which is also like just so heartbreaking in terms of friendship riff, but also ooh, accidentally hit a thing that was real. Like I couple times in life occasionally have stepped on something that was real and didn't realize it was real, wasn't even thinking about it, and then you're like, ooh, I am
Oh,
in
I
something
fucked up.
deep, right? I am in something deep, right? I really love that. I think it's just interesting to watch how the characters went through an arc, right? A journey. So stars to everyone for pushing their characters through stuff, right? And just like seeing, okay, this is who you are now, and thankfully it's better because we did say bittersweet at worst, right? Like,
Yeah, but we also got a happy ending. So yeah, JP, your stars.
Okay, so I have a couple. So of course to Chris and Mark pretty much traumatizing everybody with his explanations. I love when Mark goes into that mode and everyone is like shocked. Um, Rosary for pretty much having that say it with your chest energy because she doesn't see anything wrong with it. She's like, but everyone knows already. It's the, it's dramatized. You should be proud that it's such an interesting life story. I love like her that aspect that she thinks she's like, this is something to be proud. You went through all of this. And I kind of love like how Rosary was very like in awe of like the journey that everybody went to, and she did this play kind of as like a ode to her friends in a way. And of course, star to um Maddie for the I love your epilogue. I thought that was really sweet. Um, and Minnie May to her won't let go until she will explain to Mark what she like wouldn't let it go. And I love that because like Minnie May is like I will figure out how to explain this to him if it kills me. And I just love like that aspect of like Minnie May's personality that you don't really get to see a lot of. So I thought that was really good.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. D, your stars.
I'm going to say, first of all, stars to the Maddie and Mark conversation before they talk to Stikovich, where like basically Maddie is like, I want my son back and I'm willing to change for it. And Mark being like, okay, so change and tell him you're going to change and show him you're going to change. It was like, it was really, really good. I just really, really appreciated it. Um, stars to Rosemary because the play was good. It was messy and it was dramatic. And I like the fact that you did like blend everybody's stories together. It's like I appreciate the fact that it was like you were playing the game and yeah, we're all paying attention, but you paid attention in a different way where it was like, okay, I could take this and I could take this and I could take this and I could put a story together that kind of like hits you in the heart right there. And I very, very, very much like that. Um a JP stars for your Esther's relationship with Jesse, both the fun, the sweet parts, and also just your need for the bats and Jesse just being like, no, we can't do this. It's very cute and it very much felt like a real like couple kind of thing. And then stars to Maddie for just or not Maddie, to Mark for just refusing to be different. Mark understands what he understands and he will get it when he gets it. But as for right now, he just wants everybody to be safe and that's all that matters. And I appreciate it.
Yeah. Awesome. Inda, your stars.
Co-signing all the stars, but also stars to all of y'all for just deciding everybody's having all the babies, considering the way we have all just been completely fucked up kids the entire time. But no, that's all happy ending. We all have a bunch of kids, so yeah.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, we in it in, so I don't know.
I mean, we have not done season 2 yet.
Yeah, exactly.
There's still time.
Stars to you, Inda. It proves how great of a writer you are that you were able to do the meta thing, why you were sent to Italy, even though you didn't take any of us.
Didn't even bring back a plate.
Yeah, exactly. You better be bringing some Italian food when you come over in a couple of days.
Damn, okay.
We love you. But yeah, no, fantastic. I really enjoyed Rosemary. Going from like the typical kind of bookworm child that I see whenever someone chooses that role, and like I think you did a fantastic job of like naturally just growing out of that, like, and being more social and everything, and still obviously the bookworm, like like that did like it was really fantastic. Yeah, Chris with Mark just like always surprising us. You're always good at the create. This time it wasn't, oh god, what is he going to use as a weapon? But like, oh god, what's going to come out of his mouth? in like interpreting or misinterpreting what's going on. That was very fun. But still mixing with the fact that no, Mark is a very intelligent person. He does perceive things. He does is just it comes out differently. You're muted.
You're on muted.
The hard part was I didn't want him to be I want him a little, he's obviously neurodivergent, but I don't want him to seem callous. That was the one line I was like, I don't want him to be so off that he feels like he's harmful to the situation instead of he's trying. He really cares. He's trying. He's just not good at it. Right.
Yeah. And I think you really did a good job with that balance and everything, because it can definitely be difficult. But yeah, and I liked his little arc, and I just love the fact like he has so many suitors. It's like a very anime trope of like not expecting this one dude to have like all the things. And then D, you and your sad girl summer. It was so good, and I couldn't do it with Maddie to be actually annoyed and angry at Rosemary because everything worked out. So I was like, okay, I still wanted Rosemary to understand like this isn't cool. So I love that you did decide to do it, and it made sense because it was something very personal, something that you just had to deal with. I was also thinking Grandma ass. Sorry, looking at chat. I just didn't want to say it. And just like just calling out Rosemary because I don't see it happen too often in these games. It does happen a few times, usually with like sibling characters, but to have that you were willing to at the end of the game to have that tension with Rosemary and be like, hey, it's not cool, and so seeing Minnie May's like trajectory and everything, and how she finally at the end was like, I can trust at least 2 people.
These 2 specific people.
Yeah. Also adorable with the whole like, we gotta even out the babies. Just very good. Yeah. JP, Esther was a time. I was not expecting her trajectory. I love that she became the meddler in the most messiest ways. I thought that was fantastic. And just like, Esther got what she wanted. She made sure everybody else got what they wanted, even if they didn't claim they wanted anything. And
I mean, if all you do is practice dancing, after that, you got to do something. That was her entertainment.
She was just bored.
But I also love that you made the choice of like you got your loved one early. Like you're like, nah, this isn't going to be Esther's whole thing wasn't going to be about getting a person. They got the person. They did it. Yeah. And it's just like, now I gotta fix everybody else kind of thing. Because I usually love playing these games. I love the chase or being chased in the in Story Brewer games. I usually don't tend to have my character get connected like at childhood or something. There has to be extra drama because I love mess. I love like just all of that because to me I think that's more interesting. But at the same time, like, you know, you did a really great job with it and everything, and remembering your connections and all that. So, and yeah, and the bat thing that became a thing, and I just love it.
So funny.
Yeah, it was so good. Shut up, Fel. Yes, I love mess. I love drama. That's the whole point of fan fiction, okay? At least my characters get together at the end eventually.
Hey, I would like to point out the intention was not for Minnie May to get together with anyone. She was just going to be sad girl, but then like come to come to being okay with her life and like to hit that bittersweet. But everybody kept shipping Minnie and Mark, and I was just like, all right, let's go.
Esther was determined. She's like, you are going to get with Mark whether you want to or not.
That's real, man.
I just keep seeing that meme video where the woman's like, I take all my top friends and my bottom friends, and she's like putting sandwiches together.
Look, Maddie was a bonus. She was like, oh, okay, great. I don't have to worry about him now.
It's a triple decker sandwich. Got it.
Exactly. But yes, I think those are all my stars. This was a fantastic final session and everything. I know we are a little bit over time for anybody that is watching. We are going to be at Big Bad Con, which is in technically Burlingame. They say San Francisco, but it's Burlingame, California at the Hyatt. It is technically sold out, but we're all going to be hanging around. So feel free to hit us up in the Discords or on Blue Skies or something. We'll be playing games. We don't have any panels this year. Hopefully next year we'll have a panel. We'll be doing a lot of food. Eating a lot of food.
I can't wait to eat everything.
Yes, eat everything. And so we're off next Sunday. In theory, we'll be back the Sunday after that, probably with the talk back of talking about Big Bad Con and everything. So if you have any questions, feel free to message us regarding that. And then after that, we'll either do a horror one shot or we'll start something new. We'll let you guys know what's going on after that. I think that's it. So everybody have a fantastic night. Get vaccinated if you can, if you're able to, because I know some people literally can't, and that's understandable. But then mask. Please mask everybody. And yeah, have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.